Good morning, YouTube. It's Ringo here. Haven't seen you guys in a while, but I've got some kind of exciting things that made me want to do a video. Picked up a couple new pieces of gear that I'd like to kind of do an unboxing and go over. I guess not an unboxing for my new food bag, but we do have I do have a surprise after this that's kind of cool. So all right, so let's kind of get into it. I have replaced, and in my effort to replace most of my Z-Packs gear, I'm not going to replace my duplex because I love that tent, but I have added a new piece of gear that maybe I'll do a review on later that I guess does kind of replace my duplex tent. But let's go over this. So I have picked up a new food bag by the company LiteAF. And I'm gonna say LiteAF just to keep this PG. So it's actually pretty neat. It's big. It's much bigger than the Z-Packs bag. It also has a pleated bottom, so it'll sit flat when it's full. There's nothing in it, obviously, at the moment. But it also comes with 50 feet of Zing It, a small carabiner, and a rucksack. You can see it's got the logo on it. I think it's kind of cool. So it does not have Velcro at the top like the Z-Packs bag. It has a snap instead, but it is lighter, which I don't know if that really matters in a food bag or not. But it seems really sturdy. I'm excited to kind of use it. Oh, I forgot a little piece. This. So this piece right here, there we go, that's a good shot, allows you to, it's a little doohickey so that you can hang it PCT style. Maybe I'll do a demonstration on this here once I get back out to the woods, once it stops snowing, and maybe we'll go over this a little bit, but it's just a way to help hang it PCT style. So on my scale, all of this weighed 2.4 ounces, which is a little lighter than my Z-Pack stuff once I weighed it. So I'm excited. My old food bag, I didn't replace it just because it was Z-Packs. I replaced it because it smelled horrible. And on my last trip, when I took it out and opened it up, it turned my stomach to think I was going to eat food that had been sitting in that thing. So, anyways, but I'm excited about using this. It is Cuban fiber. I think it's the 1.5 Cuban fiber. And I think I paid like $50, somewhere around there. It's comparable to Z-Packs. But this is a newer company called LiteAF. So it's L-I-T-E, capital A, capital F. And I'll let you infer into that what you think. But there it is. So, alright. So that's my new food bag. I'm pretty excited about that. I also added a bear vault to do some hiking out west, but it was a piece of gear that I bought used off of a gear swap site, so which I've been doing a lot of lately. But anyways, my next piece of gear that I'm going to go over that I'm pretty excited about is the new Neoair Uberlite. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is Neoair's new ultralight pad. It weighs 8.8 ounces. Yep, 8.8 ounces. That is amazing. There are some trade-offs though. It is the R value is less. It's only, let's see, it says it's 2.0. So you do get less R value. So I would have to say this is probably not a good pad to use in the wintertime. But it would be a good, unless you've got something underneath it. But it is going to be a good 3-season pad to use during the spring, summer, and fall. It shouldn't be any issues. Just as a comparison, the X-Lite, which is the one that most people use, the yellow pad, is 3.1, 3.2, something like that. So, all right, so let's kind of get this thing opened up. All right. So this is the pad. As you can tell, it's much smaller when it's rolled up than the other pads. And you can see that here's a comparison. This is the Neoair X-Lite. Where's it at? Yeah, oh, there's nothing on it. So this is the Neoair X-Lite, which is the yellow pad that most thru hikers use. And then this is the Neoair X-Therm, which is the 4-season pad that I used in the beginning of my hike, and that I still use when it's chilly out. So, so you can kind of get an idea. It's much smaller, much smaller. So, all right, well, we're going to take a break here, and I will blow it up and let you see it. Okay, so we've got it blown up. As you can see, get it out here. The shape's pretty much the same as the LiteAF. So it is darker in color. So there's it. There's the valve. Blows up just like the Neoair, the LiteAF. Oops. So I know this is kind of hard to see on here, but let's kind of get the. You can hear it. It's still crinkly. Still crinkly as the LiteAF is, maybe a little less so. One of the biggest things that I can see is that the material, let's see if I can hold this up to a light, see if it shines through at all. So you can see it's translucent. The material is much thinner than the LiteAF, so I'm sure durability is going to be a little different. You know, you'll have to be more careful, but, you know, just like every piece of ultralight gear, and this is undoubtedly an ultralight piece of gear, you have to pamper it a little bit. You have to baby it a little bit. You have to be more careful with it so that, you know, it doesn't get punctured and things like that. I know you have to do that for all air pads, but I'm assuming this one's going to be, you're going to need to pamper it a little bit more. I do like it. It's the same thickness. Let's see here. It's probably the same. It's the same thickness as the LiteAF, 2.5 inches. So, all right. So let's get a feel for it. All right. So again, an unflattering angle, but it's pretty comfortable. The one thing that is a lot different is it's slipperier. It's slicker, so that may be an issue with falling off of it, which I never really had on the LiteAF. So it may slide around a little bit more on your bathtub floor, which I did have a problem with that in my LiteAF. But it's comfortable. It's just as comfortable as the LiteAF. It's the same size. It's a 20-inch pad. I think it's 72 inches, 79 inches, something like that long. So my feet don't have any problems on it. So all right. So this is it blown, not blown up. And again, you can see it's a little bit more translucent than and thinner than the LiteAF, which of course it's going to have to be to reduce the weight. But all right, I'm going to get it folded back up, and we're going to put both of these new pieces of gear on a scale. Hold on. Okay, here, so we're going to weigh this. This is on my scale. All right, with the stuff sack, comes in at 9.5 ounces. So as a way to compare, this is the LiteAF. The LiteAF with the stuff sack comes in at 12.5. So you're saving a good 3 ounces. You know, let's do the X-Therm. The X-Therm is 1 pound, 1.5 ounces. So it's half the weight of the X-Therm, 3 ounces lighter than the LiteAF. And let's see if we can get it down to what the manufacturer said. Okay, so now without the stuff sack, come on, weighs in at 8.9, which is pretty close to what the manufacturer said. They said 8.8. So I'm happy with that. I'll live with that. So one thing that again I noticed is this thing it's squirrely. It's tough to get it folded back up because it is so slippery. Slippery. So it's slick. So that may be one thing. You know, in the morning it's tough to kind of fidget with stuff when your hands are cold. But you know, some people don't roll it back up and put it back in the stuff sack. I always did just to keep it clean. But you know, you never know. So again, this is just an unboxing. I have not slept on this yet. Have not tried it out. you know, although I'm sure it's going to be comparable to the X-Lite. Okay, so let's grab my new food bag. Let's see about weighing that. All right, so that's actually pretty good, 2.5. And that's with the bag, the rucksack, the Zing-It line, a carabiner, and the PCT bar that comes with it. So, which I probably wouldn't bring. So that would probably bring it back down to 2.4. So, anyways, that's some of the new gear I'm looking at. We'll talk a little later, but I have added to my repertoire a hammock. So I've added the Dutchware Chameleon hammock. So once that the weather breaks and we can start to get outside again, we'll go over some more of that, and maybe I'll do a review of that, and maybe I'll have you follow me through my trials and tribulations trying to learn how to be a hammock camper. Okay, folks, out for now.